some of the people who are used to managing teams in the traditional way of walking around, tapping on their shoulders or looking over shoulders, giving feedback, playing by the wire, right? Feel very uncomfortable that they're not getting that feeler when it's in a remote job, right? But one of the misconceptions that I want you to weigh in on, right, and I also want you to kind of in all the conversations that you've had with various leaders, right, is that remote work, right, or remote being a remote first company is always kind of you people kind of immediately assume that it is always 100% remote, right? In the sense that you never ever get to see each other in life, right? So it's almost like this team member is in Mars and I'm in Earth, right? It's all going to be digitally happen, right? So remote first is not does not mean that you are 100% remote, right? Remote first is that your thinking, your processes, your knowledge base, the way you do different things in the company, from onboarding to offboarding to hiring, everything assumes that by default you're going to be remote, right? But doesn't mean that you have to be remote all the time, right? So, and many companies have been publicly talking about, like Doist, for example, they talk about how they do their yearly offsites and how they do different kinds of meetups in different cities and all that. So, while some companies have understood that, so why do you think that this misconception has become so strongly etched in many leaders' mind that they immediately assume that remote means no physical uh, in-person interactions at all? What do you think that's kind of become the biggest misconception that we have to clear the air on?
Yeah, that's a great question, Sham. Uh, so I think here it everything boils down to lack of connectivity, because why we want to meet somebody in person, because we want to have a closer and meaningful connection with them, right?
Right,
That's the
right,
goal of being in person, and I think I believe that's what most of the companies are trying to achieve when they are asking people to come back to office. See, their goal is to foster better collaboration and, like, better connection between teams, so that there's a better bonding, right? That's their idea. But then here, like you said, remote first does not mean always remote. So definitely we need to create opportunities wherein we give people a chance to be together in person as well.
mm-hmm.
And there are different ways of doing it. Like you said, right, companies like Doist and other companies, so they have been trying to arrange the events like every quarter or so, wherein they gather the employees, have some meaningful activities. And I think that's a great way of having a meaningful conversations with them.
Right, right,
However, uh, like I also have some other ideas, to achieve it, because
sure,
sometimes like one quarter can be a very long time, like 3 months.
right,
So, like you said, I mean, there are again, like, different perspectives to look at it. Okay, so first is how you are using your current office space, right?
mm-hmm.
So let's say if there is a company which is fully remote, and even if they don't have an office, they can at least hold important meetings, town halls, by hiring some space, let's say from your company, like somebody
Right,
from your GoFloaters, right? Wherein
right,
they give opportunity for people to come together.
right,
And I also sometimes feel that instead of forcing everybody to come to one single locations, so let's say let's take example of India.
mm-hmm.
Let's say your team is distributed across different states, then
Right,
at least you can have people from Maharashtra come together, right, once in a month for some event, right?
right,
You can have some team building event from them. Let people from those respective states be together, right? Instead of forcing everybody to travel to one single location. So I think that way it will be convenient for them, because they belong to a same geographical area. They can meet more frequently, have a better bonding, right?
right,
Even if they are not from the same team, at least like you can create some belonging for the organization, right? That is one
right,
way of doing it. Second is, I believe we can really create meaningful connections even if we are remote. I'll tell you, like, from my career, most of the best of the bosses that I worked with, and whom I had a great rapport. So they have been, like, from other countries. Some of them which I never met them, like, some
mm-hmm.
from US, UK, right? So we have been always like talking remote. So I think there are other factors, which we need to focus on. Okay. So see, in the past, the management was all about, like logic, and they would say, okay, you should not talk about feelings and all, right? But see, we need to understand that as a human being, first we connect. If we can connect emotionally to something, we
Right.
feel invested, and automatically we are engaged. Automatically we are productive, right?
Right.
So I
Correct.
think there is a certain shift that has to happen in the management approach. Okay, so
True.
instead of forcing people, right, that to come to office on certain day, or uh, uh, certain time, what the employees can do is like think about creative ways. Okay, how can you connect with them emotionally? How can you have your employees invest emotionally in your team, in your leader organization,
Right.
right?
Right.
And for that, it's a very, like, deep subject, I would say. Because if you really want to connect with somebody, you have to know their personality. So it
True.
even starts from the onboarding. Like when you onboard the employees, okay, everybody is doing the technical test, but do you know what is the type of personality that some individual had? Do you know
Right.
what are the core values, right? Did you take time to evaluate whether those core values match with your company or not, right?
True.
Whether they
True.
connect with your mission and vision or not. So I think, yeah, they have to think at a deeper level now.
Right. Yeah.